What's going on, Rare Elvis Photos? Happy Elvis Week. I'm going to be doing some reviews here. Some of the records that I have. I've got a lot of records, as you can see there, tons of records up there and stuff. And you know, excuse the slight mess here in the studio room. Been a busy week with Elvis Week. But obviously, the Sun Story record here that came out on Rhino, I believe, was the label. It's a pretty cool record. Or records. It's a double record, I believe this is. It's got Roy Orbison, of course, Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, which is what this channel is all about. Carl Perkins and Jerry Lee Lewis. And on this one, it includes an oversized booklet with extensive liner notes and rare photos. For it's got Good Rock in the Night by Elvis. Rocket 88, Jackie Brenston, Blue Suede Shoes, Carl Perkins, Mystery Train, Junior Parker, Folsom Prison Blues, Johnny Cash, Sitting by My Window, The Five Tinos, Ooby Dooby, Roy Orbison, Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, Jerry Lee, Matchbox, Carl Perkins, Lonely Weekends, Charlie Rich, Mona Lisa, Carl Mann, My Bucket's Got a Hole in It, Sonny Burgess, Flying Saucers, Rock and Roll, Billy Riley, Great Balls of Fire, Jerry Lee Lewis, of course. Then you got Get Rhythm by Johnny, Devil Doll by Roy, Just Walking in the Rain, The Prisonaires, Straight A's in Love, Johnny Cash, Ubangi Stomp, Warren Smith, Bearcat, Rufus Thomas Jr., and Well, That's All Right, Mama, Elvis, of course. Honey Don't, Carl Perkins, High School Confidential, Jerry Lee, Red Hot, Billy Riley, I Walk the Line, Johnny, and Who Will the Next Fool Be, Charlie Rich, Raunchy, Bill Justice, and Breathless by Jerry Lee Lewis. So let's pull this out, take a look at what we got here. All right, let's see if I'm missing anything in there. So there's that. I'll stick this here in the back. Get looks like, yeah, so a double record. There's what it looks like. Pretty cool little looking record there. Here is the second one. I like it. Looks like that. Well, I guess the booklet's here. Okay. All right, the Sun Story. Pretty cool looking there. You got Blue Suede Shoes, Carl, or Orbison, a little sheet music thing, Johnny, Carl Perkins, there's Elvis. I don't know who that is. Lonely Weekends, Charlie Rich. Boy, that looked like Elvis a teeny bit through this camera lens. Teeny bit. I say teeny, not a lot. Then you got Carl Perkins there. You open it up. Boy, it's got some great liner notes. It took a nonconformist like Sam Phillips to cut loose and capture the Maverick blues and rockabilly on a magnetic tape. In a Rolling Stone interview, he told Elizabeth Kay about his first encounter with black music. On our plantation, I call it that because it was 320 acres, which was one of the biggest farms back then. Very seldom did you go by the black mamas hanging out clothes or boiling clothes in a big old wash kettle that you didn't hear some humming or singing. Certainly in the fields, that was absolutely their theme song. I saw that. I even felt that. After the death of his father, young Sam was employed at various radio stations, barking out instructions to gospel and hillbilly records. So the first practical application of his musical intuition was at WREC Radio in Memphis, engineering live broadcasts of big bands from the Hotel Peabody. Anybody been to the Hotel Peabody in Memphis? I think it's still standing. I don't know. I think it is, though. Let me know in the comments. With his newly earned license from a correspondence school, Phillips was allowed to mix these concerts. But he did it in the unorthodox Phillips fashion. Hell yeah, I'd always mix the rhythm section a little hotter than the horns. I kept it hot. Implementing these unique ideas seemed a bit wasted on the big band audience, so Sam was itching for independence. Those childhood memories of cut-to-the-bone black music were calling to him like an invocating spirit, and Sam had a scheme. He would invest all of his earnings in his recording equipment and set up in a converted radiator shop, on nearby Union Avenue. His sign over the door, the Memphis Recording Service, combining the newest and best equipment with the latest and finest Sonacoustic Studios, whatever Sonacoustic was. You couldn't, you couldn't buy it today. Yeah, that's a misprint there. You couldn't buy it today. So it wasn't me. It was a magazine. Couldn't buy it today for $1 million. First to be served was Phineas Newborn, who, along with Joe Hill Lewis, had their talents recorded by Sam only to be leased to Modern Records. The idea of leasing was part of Phillips' master plan for profit making. Both tracks were recalled and soon spinning on his own Phillips label, a company he started with disc jockey Dewey, no relation to Sam. The recordings on this label flopped, so it was back to leasing with others. One of Sam's major finds was the legendary Howlin' Wolf, whose ferocious voice sounded like a man who gurgled with battery acid. Wolf growled and groaned, the best urban blues ever to find a way onto a turntable. Sam had a knack for finding raw talent within spitting distance of Union Avenue, but he also recorded B.B. King for a 5-month period in '51, tracks which were eventually issued by Modern. Other sessions captured bluesmen such as Roscoe Gordon, Walter Shaky Horton, Sleepy Recordings, let me see here, Sleepy John Estes, Tiny Kennedy, and Jackie Brenson. Those recordings would make their way to public via more leasings on various labels. When Phillips recorded Rocket 88 with Brenson and his Delta Cats, Memphis became the epicenter of hipness. Derived from Jimmy Liggins' Cadillac Boogie, Rocket 88 was a booze-bound joyride with its crazed passengers out for kicks and chicks. Ike Turner provided the leadership and handled the keyboards as Willie Kizart ignited the song with a lean and mean boogie vamp from his over-amplified guitar. The resulting vehicular celebration was leased to Chess Records, where it became an R&B smash in 1951. So Sam Phillips was going at it well before Elvis, wasn't he? That's an interesting thing there. The burning question in Sam's brain was why others should make the real profit from his discoveries. Because he didn't have enough money to back him. That's what happened. And of course, I'm not reading from this now, but that's what selling Elvis to RCA did. It gave Johnny an opportunity. It gave Roy an opportunity. And you know, the money was there to promote these artists now. Let me see here. Phillips' new brainchild would be called Sun Records. In '52, the famous Sun logo, designed by a high school friend of Sam's, was emblazoned on the inauspicious brick facade. I think it's facade. A new era in recorded music was about to dawn. Hootin' and hollerin' Rufus Thomas' deep-fried vocal style was the first great find for Sun. Rufus, father of Carla, G. Wiz Thomas, was spinning blues and R&B on WDIA in Memphis. Good exposure when it came time to promote his latest release. As an answer to Big Mama Thornton's Hound Dog, Bearcat leaped to life with screeching cat sounds and a Rufus snarling vocal, punctuated by Joe Hill Lewis insinuating guitar lines ripping the song with amplified vengeance. This version was too close to Big Mama's Lieber and Stroller penned original, and Don Roby, whose publishing company owned the copyright, promptly sued Phillips, winning a 2-cent royalty rate per record. In spite of all the legal mumbo-jumbo, Bearcat became Sun's first big hit, making it to number 3 on the R&B charts in '53. Herman Jr. Parker first came to Sun as a harmonica player for Howlin' Wolf. Parker would lay down some ultra-fastidious blues, his suave delivery bolstered by Pat Hare's snappy guitar. Parker best boogied the blues while locking in on a building riff, and his Mystery Train displays him at his finest. Phillips would transform that song into a souped-up rockabilly classic for Elvis the following year. Instead of looking for an echo in the hallways of tenement buildings, the prisoners harmonized in their cell blocks at the Tennessee State Prison. One to seize upon the unexpected, Phillips worked at a recording session and the warden sent them over to the Sun studios. Accompanied by an armed guard to ensure their return, Just Walking in the Rain featured the clear tenor voice of Johnny Bragg, who'd co-written it with fellow inmate Robert Riley. The song eventually crossed over to become a hit for Johnny Ray. After hearing the prisoners at the governor's mansion, an impressed President Truman had them pardoned. Well, what do you know? Bragg would go on to form the Marigolds, and would record Rolling Stone for Excello in '55. All right, so if you enjoyed me reading this and enjoyed the Sun Sessions story, there's a lot more to read here, and I'd love to read it to you. Just let me know. And if not, you know, if I don't get enough comments and stuff on that, then maybe I won't. But it's interesting. I love history. I love musical history. Anything to do with Elvis and, of course, rock and roll. I mean, Elvis Presley. You know. So this was made in Canada, by the way, as well. All right, TCB TLC. This is Rare Elvis Photos. I hope you enjoyed the Sun story, some of the reading of it, the records, how they look. And until next time, which is going to be pretty soon because I'm going to be releasing lots of videos here, back at it again. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. TLC to you as Elvis would wish you that. And TCB to everybody else out there. All right. This is Rare Photos.